I'm being joined by XRL Fiend here. Looks like we're going to have nearly a full lobby today as 19 drivers have shown up for the event. You know, Fiend, I made a remark about 10 minutes ago. Geez, looks like a small field because only 13 people showed up. Now we're almost at a full field. We're at Japan. What can we be expecting from today's race in X2?
We can expect a lot of crazy overtakes and maybe a few spins along the way.
You make an excellent point. In the X1 and X3 races, technical issues force us to have a lobby restart, so those races end up running a little bit late. Fingers crossed that something like that doesn't end up happening again here today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened in X1, but X3 it was just a preventative measure rather than like having to do it for any sort of reason. So hopefully it all runs a little bit smoother than earlier on, but yeah, it should be a fun race.
We'll be getting underway in a relatively short period of time here. Well, we
Yes,
seem
we
to have a
will.
little bit more time at the start than normal, so real quickly we'll go ahead and look at the standings as they are. Real quickly, I'll go ahead and run us through the Manufacturers Championship as it stands at the moment. The Alpine team has 49 points. Alfa Romeo has 67. Scuderia AlphaTauri Honda has 106. Scuderia Ferrari has 129, and that brings them in a direct tie with Williams, who also has 129. Just 1 point ahead of both of them. In fifth is the Aston Martin team with 130 points, and then 1 point ahead of them is the McLaren team with 131. Red Bull is kind of in no man's land. They have 145 points right now. Haas is second with 211 points, and leading the Manufacturers Championship as we look right now is the Mercedes factory team. And real quickly, Fiend, this is more your series than mine, so go ahead and run us through the Drivers' Championship as they stand right now.
Pardon, sorry.
Would you be willing to lead us through the Drivers' Championship points as
Yes,
they
of
stand
course.
right now?
Of course. Let's have a look. So, in first place, we have XRL Waldo in the Haas with 142 points. Second place is XRL Dino, 130 points. Smoothie with 95 points sits in third. In fourth, in the other Haas, is Mr. Anderson with 68 points. XRL Pelly in fifth with... Anderson has 68 points. Pelly has 65 points. Edgar with 64 points. And then we have the two AlphaTauris in 7th and 8th. Jebus John with 55 points and Torpedo with 51 points. XRL Zola sits in 9th with 42 points. Verdict in 10th with 40 points. Careless Jackson, 29 points. Alone Retreat, 27 points. In 13th is Young Maneuver, 21 points. Mr. Neon with 18 points. Asda in 15th with 18 points as well. RB Llama has 16 points in 16th place. Mr. Shmee is in 17th with 15 points, and then we have XRL Low with 4 points, FG Hackenen with 2 points, and finally Fable with 1 point.
Alright, so I can see at the top of the championship, Waldo may have the grip on it right now with 12 points, but things will change very quickly as we begin to turn our focus onto the racetrack. The first driver to get onto the circuit today is going to be Vertex 3546, already out there, coming out of turn number 1 right now. 19 drivers, 4 of them are in the drop zone, 15 of them are going to be able to make it into Q2, assuming no weird shenanigans happen. So, I'm just going to go ahead and ask, if you've been able to keep up with X2 a little bit, and I have, who do you think has the best chance to pull off pole today? We know in X2, normally the field gets a little bit more spread out from the front to the back compared to X1 or X3, so normally it's a bit easier to kind of pick drivers to root for, so who are we looking at for a great run through qualifying today?
Right then, so I think the people to look out for today would be Find Waldo, maybe even Mr. Anderson as well. He's got, them two have good chances. I'm not sure what IRC Dilly is like. He's not raced an X2 before, so he's one to look out for as well, I think. And also the Ferrari drivers. Last week they had a really good showing during qualifying, so I think they're the people that we should be looking out for.
Of note also, when we were looking at the Drivers' Championship, I noticed that both Ferrari drivers and both AlphaTauri drivers are almost even when it comes to point totals. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that's because of overall pace. The two of them have very similar pace, or it's just that, where one is weak, the other is strong. But that normally says a lot about respectively decent team cohesion regarding the drivers to the car. So that could be very good for Ferrari and AlphaTauri going forward today and for the remaining races of the X2 Championship.
Yes, the AlphaTauri drivers and the Ferrari drivers are very, very well matched as teammates. They seem to be working well together as well, and that shows in the standings, of course.
Right, well, as it stands right now, about half the field is either out on circuit doing the lap or about to start a flying lap. Following XRL Low right now. Oh, and IRC Dilly has gone ahead and has an issue. He has dropped out of the event already, and he's not the only one. His teammate Boothie has also had an accident on track as well. So both Alpines having an accident coming through turns 2 and 3 almost simultaneously.
Yeah, touch the curbs there, and you are probably going to spin.
It's not what you want to see at all. Getting knocked out this early in qualifying normally puts you in a really bad position for the race itself. That doesn't mean you're in a terrible position. We've seen drivers come from dead last to take home a victory, but still knocking out that early frustration. And then Boothie, entire front wing knocked off. Now, he's shown some great pace here over the weekend. He took pole in the XRRL race yesterday and ended up stealing fastest lap at the end of X3 earlier today. So he should be able to recover from this. He's normally very good at qualifying, but still not going to help Boothie. First lap to go up on the timesheets is a 1:30.144. That's Verti. So we'll be watching him to see what he ends up doing and see if he can break the 130 barrier, get down to the 129s. Already we're seeing other cars coming to the line right now. This is XRL Edgar. He'll be the second driver to set a lap time. He'll do a 1:30.251 at the line right now.
I think next across the line will be XRL Low. He's had a couple of decent qualifying sessions as Low, actually.
Low doing a very interesting strategy, ran that car super low on fuel. That was flashing the warning light before he even got to the line. It's a 1:30.490, so the two Alfa Romeos relatively even when it comes to pace thus far. The next driver who's going to cross the line looks like it's going to be RB Llama. I think he'll have enough fuel for another lap if he so chooses, but at the line, he'll go to the top, 1:30.124. That's just 200ths faster than what Verti had.
Yeah, that's very, very close at the top. Who's next?
Well, I'm seeing Mr. Anderson on the way to the start-finish line right now. However, he has not gotten there yet. There's also going to be the cooldown laps for Edgar and the Alfa Romeos. There is a Mercedes that's in the midst of that. That is XRL Dino. He's pulled over for the moment to let other drivers by. In fact, he's extremely slow, pulled way over. I have to wonder if he's trying to do some really hardcore fuel-saving shenanigans right now. Just kind of barely putt-putting to the top of the little crest on that non-DRS straightaway before he finally starts gaining on the power here. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, go silent, and ride on board for a lap with the Mercedes XRL Dino, see what a full lap is like around here at Suzuka from an X2 driver.
Nice exit. Needs to be careful on this right-hand curve. Take more of the curve there if you wanted to. Guess he doesn't need to. Coming up to Spoon. Torpedo needs to be careful not to get this and next lap invalidated, actually. Going wide there. And then coming up to 130R. Nearly on the grass there was Dino. The final chicane. Stays tight to the white line and sets a 1 minute 30.7 into
Very
P6.
respectable lap from Dino's part. So you seem to think that there's a lot more curb that you can take there in Sector 2. So go ahead. I'm just a little bit curious. Go ahead and elaborate. And what angle do you want to take those curbs going through that section as we're watching XRL Pelly right now in Sector 2?
So Sector 1, you have beginning of Sector 2, you have the fast left-hander, and then you've got the one next to it. You can go right onto that green curb if you want to, and it won't invalidate you, but again, got to be careful with the curves around here, otherwise you could end up spinning. But yeah,
Well, Dino seemed to take your advice to heart. Literally, as you said that, about half a second later, Dino went over the curb exactly in the method you described. He's on another flyer right now, so he might be able to take a little bit more time off. I know you're in the booth with me, but you got to get out of the driver's ears, mate. I understand that you want to see them do well, but come on, you can't be leaking help to them like that.
yeah, he must be watching the stream, mustn't he?
Yeah. Well, at the top of the timesheets right now is Mr. Anderson with a 129.998, and that's someone else I do want to point out real quickly. Anderson pulled off a podium yesterday in the XRL race. He's been showing a lot of resiliency at Japan compared to everyone else, despite not being very confident in his ability here. He's at the top of the timesheets right now. I think we could see him qualify in the top 2, top 3 rows today if things go well for him.
Yeah, I think we could, you know. He's... Oh, wait a minute. That is Dino into the grass. And that's what we were saying about before, about going
Ocean Lion,
there.
his teammate has had a spin just 2 corners up as well.
Oh, wow.
So both Mercedes simultaneously spinning
The
at
right-hand
nearly the same
curve.
part of the racetrack.
Yeah, it looks like he went on that right-hand curve, which you kind of want to avoid at all costs. Every time you go on there, you run the risk of spinning quite dramatically.
Waldo's about to come across the line to begin his flying lap, and Boothie has got another chance. He invalidated his past lap, so his tires are a little bit worn right now. He can still make this happen. Mr. Shmee is currently at the bottom of the timesheets with a 131.515, but Waldo, Boothie, and Torpedo are all on track right now to set laps. Torpedo right now is in Sector 2, going around the hairpin as we speak.
Now Venom's beaten.
Venom to the top.
Yeah, not by much, but he's up there. A cheeky toe from the Mercedes drivers. That could help Dino a little bit to get a better lap time, unless he goes into the pits. Yeah, so it wouldn't have made a difference anyway.
Yeah, they're both going to come into the pits because they both they had both spun at the start of the lap regardless, so it's almost not necessarily fruitless, but kind of pointless to go hard on a lap that you already made way slower by a self-inflicted issue at the start of it.
Yeah.
Torpedo coming into the final corner, and out of the final corner now, he'll be the 14th driver to set a lap, and he will do it with a time of 1:30.401.
Boothie nearly lost it.
Focus goes to Boothie and Waldo coming to the line now. 1:30.160 for Boothie.
Yeah, it's for Boothie, it's a strong track, and Torpedo!
Oh, Torpedo!
Torpedo has lost it on the S's and has retired from qualifying.
And he had just set a very good lap as well, but that car is gone. Travesty to see that happen to him.
Yeah, he'll be starting in P15 regardless of... Well, unless drivers push him out of the top 15, he'll be starting 15th. Which means now, as it did well to recover. So as it stands, only 14 will be going through to Q2.
And Torpedo's time was very respectable. It was within the top 8. Actually, yeah, it's going to be about, that would have been the 9th fastest time at that point. So not only will drivers need to get faster than Shmi, they're gonna have to find a way to beat Ocean Lion's time, or to really lock themselves in, beat Torpedo. It's really gonna throw a monkey wrench into these last few minutes of qualifying. His teammate Jabaston is on outlap right now, though. Alright, coming into the party with us is XRL Torpedo. Torpedo, go ahead, make sure your audio's included. Big accident in the S's. What happened out there?
I set my first flight lap, thought it was okay, and I decided to go again, see how that what would do, and then coming into turn 2 at the start of the S's, on the curb, and lost the back end and into the ball.
Alright, it was a really good lap, and it looks like it's going to really put a monkey wrench in the way Q1 plays out, but my question is, do you think you can recover from this in the race itself?
Hopefully, I can recover. Just have to see what happens.
Alright, good luck. Your teammate Jabaston is going to try and get the other AlphaTauri into Q2 for you.
Yeah, he's showing good pace around this track. Hopefully he could do well for the team.
Alright, well, thanks for talking. Oh, and Verti Verti's just retired in the pits, never mind. But one of the other AlphaTauri, that's XRLO, has come to a near complete stop in Sector 2 to let the McLaren of Young Maneuver by, so Young Maneuver has cleaner track ahead. So I apologize for that. I kind of freaked out there over nothing. Smoothie25 is still in the pit lane and has not yet made an attempt to get out on circuit. And with less than 4.5 minutes left, he needs to start, getting out on track sooner rather than later.
Jebus coming up to the final chicane. Just going round, sticking as close to the white line as he can. Quickest run to thingy, and he goes into P8. The 130.2.
Alright, 130.292, so a very respectable time. Right now, if you want a chance to make it into Q2, it seems obvious you need to be setting times in the 130s. At the moment, Zola is 14th with a 130.917. But if anyone beat him, he would be squeezed down to 16th behind Torpedo. Smoothie finally beginning the long run down pit lane to get out onto the racetrack right now. Shmi in the middle of a lap as well.
Let's see what Shmi can do. He did a 131.5 to start with. What can he do now? He can still do a 131.5, so
yeah,
he'll
he
be
was
going
down
again.
by a second and a half at the end of that lap, so not very good. I have to wonder if maybe he backed out of it in one of the sectors. Oh, and he invalidates.
He's invalidated.
He saw the McLaren and Smoothie up ahead. He stepped way too wide and invalidated. That's not going to help him whatsoever.
Yeah,
also, Ocean Lion retired in the pit, so he says, yeah, 131.272. I don't have confidence in the Mercedes. I'm not going to run the risk of wrecking the car. I'm pulling out now. So now it's just a matter of what can Shmi and Smoothie do against Dino and Zola, because Dilly's already crashed out. Torpedo's not going to advance because he's crashed out, and Ocean Lion's retired to the time that's really not competitive.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. I think that, well, Zola's slowed down to let cars pass, so he won't be doing a lap this time round. Oh, and that is
Shmi! Wow!
I think that's the second time he's nearly binned it, so he's a lucky boy. Smooth.
Well, you
is
can't
coming
say
around.
he's not trying, but with the way it looked like the rear gave out on him. I have to wonder if maybe to try and make up for a deficiency in straight line speed.
Oh,
they're running.
Doing?
Wow, big off,
what is he
way
doing
off,
there?
hard into the wall. He's out.
What is he doing there? Unbelievable.
Massive accident will keep him well out of Q2 now. We're going to try and get him in here to see what happened, but that was a heck of an instant. I've not seen somebody crash that hard through the chicane ever. Normally, if they're going to crash in the chicane, it's normally under braking. One guy just kind of noses into someone else's rear end or gets into the side of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was doing going on that part of the track. Maybe trying to get into the pits quicker than normal or something, but it's weird to see that happen, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, well, with a little bit over 65 seconds left, the focus is just now between Smoothie and Zola. Can Smoothie match or beat Zola's time of 130.917? He's in Sector 2 right now. He waited until the last minute to go, but one of the advantage in being in one of the higher tiers, X1 and X2, normally people, once they settle out, they're confident in Q1, they retire relatively early from the session. They don't worry about pushing and trying to get extra time, so there's normally a little bit more clear track in a qualifying session for X1 or X2 compared to the likes of X3 or Dev.
Yeah, potentially, and it's better to see drivers don't tend to not want to use more than one set of soft tyres in Q1, so if they can get away with it, they will do. But Zola goes up to 13th with a 130.5, so that's making life a little bit more difficult for Smooth.
Yeah, now Smoothie is going to have to try and bump his teammate Young Maneuver out. So one McLaren versus another. Who's going to be at the line?
Smooth.
Young's out and Smooth is in. A very respectable time. He will be one of 7 drivers to set a time in the 129 range.
Wow, to see 129s in Q1 is pretty good. Zola's on another lap, it looks like. He made it to the line before the end, so I mean,
he might not be aware that Young Maneuver is not able to go for another lap, so he may be under the impression he needs to keep pushing here. But his fuel light's flashing. Hopefully he gets the message sooner rather than later that, no, he's fine. He can calm down and save the car. No need to tear the machine up now.
Yeah. He may want to set the lap anyway, really, just to be safe. But I'm sure he can see from the standings and where he is, and taking note of what drivers have DNF'd. I'm sure he'll know that he's safe. Man, yeah, he's.
Yeah, it looks like he's slowed down now significantly, down 3 seconds. So yeah. Alright, so he's going to save and conserve the machinery. Smoothie already on a cooldown lap, down by over 2 seconds. So, for all intents and purposes, Q1 is over. Accidents by Torpedo, Mr. Shmee, and IRC Dilly really shake up the early bits of Q1. Only 14 drivers are going to advance into Q2 as well.
There we are.
Alright, there we are. At the top of the timesheets is Fine Waldo in the Haas, followed by Dino in the Mercedes, Edgar in the Ferrari, Smoothie in the McLaren, Lowe in the Alpha, Venom in the Williams, Anderson in the Haas, RB Lama in the Alpine, Vertx 3546 in the Alfa Romeo, Boothie in the Alpine, Gaviston in the AlphaTauri, Mr. Neon 713 in the Aston Martin, Pelly in the Ferrari, and Zola in the Aston Martin. The drivers who will not advance will be Torpedo in the AlphaTauri, Young Maneuver in the McLaren, Ocean Lion in the Mercedes, Mr. Shmee in the Red Bull, and IRC Dilly in the Williams. So prepared to get underway here. Dilly, this is his debut in X2. Not turning out very good for him at all, sadly. It's hopefully he can rebound in the race itself.
Yeah, he'll be trying to last the first challenge, I think. Oh, by the way, I should have said this. We should have said this before. The race is going to be all dry, so no threat of rain. So the drivers have a choice of tyres now.
I did not see X1. I don't know if X1 had rain, but that means that 4 of the 5 races over the weekend will have no rain. It will be all dry, so I'm sure some people actually wanted to see a wet race. That way they'd be, everyone would be encouraged to go slower through those very difficult S's, and it would reduce the chances of people spinning out and crashing out through there. First driver to come out onto the track in Q2 is going to be XRL Lowe.
As per. He likes to be first out in qualifying sessions as well.
And it does pay a pretty significant advantage. Being the first out usually means you'll have the most clean track, assuming that, people aren't going to begin their outlap just as we're flying. That doesn't happen too often. But here's the other thing that's interesting. The second car coming out is going to be the other Alfa Romeo. That will be Verti, who is already making his way out of the pit lane. Everyone else trying to figure out what to go. One other thing I would just want to talk about, tire strategy. Top 10 drivers here, the fastest time they set on that set of rubber, that is what they have to start the race with. That sentence came out so garbled. That was probably the worst application of the English language I've used all day today. The time that the tires that the top 10 fastest drivers set their fastest time with in this session, that is the set of tires that they will have to start the race itself on. So, with that in mind, do you want to start on medium tires or soft tires? It seemed relatively overwhelmingly softs in X3, and then a few drivers who wanted to run with mediums just kind of stuck with it. Fate be cursed. But what about in this case? Now it seems like mediums are the way to go by most of the people, and only a few guys are committing to softs right now.
Yeah. Interesting tire choices, although the strategy is pretty simple, I think. It's basically just a one-stop race, medium, soft, medium, even soft hard if you want to go that way, although probably wouldn't touch the softs if probably wouldn't want to touch the hards, sorry, not the softs. The hards can be a little bit slidey.
We saw that in all 3 races that have happened. Well, that I've gotten broadcast. Again, I did not get a broadcast excellence, so I can't say there, but in the 3 races I have gotten to be a part of in some way or another, yeah, the hards are extremely difficult to navigate around here, especially when they're nice and soft and still nice, fresh, and still got that sheen on them. There's almost no grip around here. Makes for a very difficult time.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. Right then, XRL low going around Spoon.
He is on the soft tire compounds, but it's only him and Zola. Everyone else currently has the mediums equipped on their cars right now. And Zola's still in pit lane. He could elect to go ahead and yank those off and throw on a set of mediums if he wanted to. It's almost a perfect inverse of what we had in X3. So it's really, really interesting to say the least. But that also opens up to a lot of change because, you know, after drivers get done, set their laps, and then people from about like 9th on down to 14th, they realize, oh crap, my time's not good enough to get into the top 10. We see this time and time again. They'll throw out their strategy to try and get a better starting position. Low has crossed the line with a 129.740, so very respectable time on his part.
Yeah. Not a bad time on 129.7 on softs. Could be okay to get through to Q3 though. You got to also keep in mind as well, safety cars could become an issue in this race. So starting on softs, if there's an early safety car, then you could well be in a position to pit onto tyres and get to the end. Who knows?
Only possible issue with that though is that by choosing to jump in, throw on a different set of tires early on like that, you have to work your way up to the field, run the risk of getting involved in someone else's accident, trying to make your way up through the field.
Yes, and that's always a problem in races, getting through the field, especially at a track like Japan where there are overtaking opportunities, but you've got to be really careful how you go about doing them. It's one issue and one wrong move and you're in the wall like.
Japan's in that really dangerous middle. It's not as bad as Hungaroring or Monaco, where there's basically one overtaking zone, if that. It's not like Baku or Monza, where there are plenty of DRS straights, plenty of long straights where you can make overtakes. It's not even like Silverstone, where the track's wide enough where you can go side by side and just outdrive someone through the corners. Here, there are like about 3 different overtaking opportunities realistically. You have the end of the main straight with the DRS, you have going into 130R if you're way faster than the person ahead, and then you might be able to make a dive and throw it up on the inside going through the hairpin. But the problem is, yeah, those last 2, the end of the non-DRS straight going into 130R and the hairpin, those are like high risk maneuvers.
Yeah, the hairpin's the highest risk, I think, because you got the turn beforehand where you got to kind of go in and then get out quickly so that you can go alongside into the hairpin. Otherwise, you'll be into the back of them.
Yeah, and even if you are already side by side going into the hairpin, if you try overtaxing the brakes and the brakes aren't properly set up, you run the risk of the rear of the car stepping out and you taking not only yourself but the guy you're side by side with out going through the hairpin. Like,
Yeah, like
it's slow. It's the slowest corner here without a doubt, and it's a great area to get alongside with. But you need to be really, really careful if you just want to get alongside, let alone actually commit to an actual pass attempt.
oh yeah, 100%. You've got to be so careful with that hairpin. Oh, what is Lana doing? Oh, letting a car pass. Just sorry, man. Going to the grass for whatever reason. Yeah, we're to let a car pass, so that's alright.
Alright, things are looking very good for Edgar and Llama right now. They have set times in the 129s on sets of medium tires. Waldo right now is positioning himself to be the next driver to set a lap here as he's going down the non-DRS straight, also known as the alternate start-finish line. He's at 112.798 at the end of Sector 2. That's all clear ahead of him. He just needs to not cut the circuit in these last 3 corners.
Got a purple sector 1 from Dino. Oh, nice lap.
Waldo to the top on mediums, 129.651.
Decent.
Pelly in the Ferrari and Dino in the Mercedes, both running very, very good right now in the middle of their fine laps. What can they do here? Jay Biscon is coming to the pits. They've thrown on soft tires on that car. Edgar, they've gone ahead and thrown soft tires on that car. But those two have not yet left pit lane. Same with Verti.
Yeah, both Dino and Pelly are on medium tyres. Gotta do something special on mediums to beat Waldo's time though. 8th and
If you were
10th.
able to time it right and you could catch your teammate's draft going down basically at the very end of Sector 2 and the entirety of
Zola.
Sector 3, that might work out.
Sorry to interrupt you. Zola just at the hairpin just lost traction and has gone into the wall and has retired from qualifying.
Zola had not yet set a lap time, so it's not going to massively alter things. That car is actually way past the apex. It looks like he may have broke a little bit too aggressively and kept kind of saving it, losing it before it ended up going into the wall. Travesty for Zola there.
Yeah, he went on the grass just before the braking zone and the car stepped out a bit and then he broke and he just went slide. It just went sliding across into the wall.
Well, as that happens, it's now Smoothie once again, who was waiting until the last moments to set a lap, although he's doing it a little bit sooner this time than he did last session. Also, Boothie is on the bubble with a 130.607. Pelly is on the outside, but he's on another lap right now. And Davis Khan is also on the outside, but they've equipped soft tires on that AlphaTauri in the pit lane. They really want to go for it. Pelly is down on time, actually. It looks like this is either a cooldown lap. This is probably a cooldown lap. I don't know if he's going to come into the pits or if he's going to go for another flyer, but he has backed way off this lap. So the answer, no, he's going to go for it again. So he feels that the medium tires can still get him into the next round of qualifying. He was nearly 6 seconds off pace that cooldown lap, but it's relatively clear ahead of him. There is a Mercedes up ahead, and that is XRL Dino. Dino is still on circuit. I think Dino, though, is going to be on a cooldown lap because that fuel light's flashing pretty aggressively for him.
Yeah, now Smooth's gone round 130R into the final chicane. Can he get into the top 10 and beat Boothie's 130.6? Let's find out. Oh, he can, but only just, well, by about a tenth. He does a 130.5 and puts him into 9th place.
A tenth is a great margin, though, when we've been talking most of the day about variance in hundredths of a second. Although I still wouldn't feel that comfortable if I was in Smoothie's position, because now it's Mr. Neon who's on the bubble, Boothie, who's always been very good at qualifying, is on the outside looking in, and Pelly is in position for a good lap, although he's only up by 3/10 at the end of Sector 1. How much he's going to be up by the end of Sector 2? He's up by almost 4/10 at the end of Sector 2. Sector 3 is almost all about straight line speed, primarily acceleration. There is a chicane here that you need to have a good amount of steering angle for. And he's aborted.
Maybe deciding that softs are better just to secure top 10 spot. 4/10 would have put him into around 8th or 9th place.
But
So
with
maybe
3 minutes and 30 seconds left, there's no way that he would be able to react if people farther down the order elected to throw on softs and start chasing after him.
Exactly.
They put soft tires on Boothy's car in pit lane, but he has not come out onto the track yet. Jabez John, however, has come out onto the track on the softs. He has just crossed the start-finish line, beginning a flying lap now. So right now, Mr. Neon is on the bubble. He's already reacting. He has begun his flying lap, and he has another set of mediums on right now. 1:30.536 with less than 3 minutes. Quite frankly, the tires that you have on, that's basically what you've got.
Yeah, no time to go into the pits now, is there? And if you're not already out of the
No.
pits, you're kind of done. With 2.5 minutes left, it takes, well, a lap's about 1.5 minutes. You need a little bit of extra time for an out lap, so you need about 2 minutes. So yeah, if you're not out of the pits by now or the next 30 seconds, you're kind of done.
As it stands right now, I think about everyone from 7th and up, so PP or Venom and up on the timesheets, I think they're all safe. I think it's primarily a concern for Verti, Smoothie, and Neon. They're going to have to fight directly with Boothy, Pelly, and John to try and stay in the top 10 positions.
Yeah, Vertix just finishing a lap on soft tyres. And Vertix goes into 2nd place.
Woo! So now
Wow.
5 drivers are in the 129. So without a doubt, if you're in the 129s, I think we can comfortably say you'll be in to Q3 and the top 10 shootout for the pole.
Yeah, I think you could say that. Jebus John has just begun a flying lap.
Now, he just finished his prior lap, but it was not good. He pulled over at some point. He was down by about 4.5 seconds there.
Yeah, he aborted it.
This is it.
And now he's going again. And Smooth just coming round the final corner was down by about a 10th. So he'll be wanting to go again. Boothy's just started a lap. Mr. Neon's on a cool down lap, it looks like, going slow through the S's. So those 3 drivers. We have Venom and Dino on out laps as well.
Venom will make it to the line in time. For Dino, though, it's going to be a lot more borderline because there's less than a minute left. He needs to push hard to make it to the timing sheet. I think
Pelly.
Anderson is safe.
Pelly coming out of the pits. It's a little bit too late for that, though.
Yeah, there's
With
only
40
47 seconds left.
Yeah,
And
it's a little
here's
bit
the other
late.
thing. Even if he wanted to like do some shenanigans and play dirty to obscure the laps of other people on track, which would not be allowed, but even if you wanted to do that, it's super clear behind him.
Yeah,
There's
there's no
nothing
one
that
around.
he can do. It's yeah.
Unless he just wants to get
Right.
in a little bit of extra practice.
Jabez John is up by 859 thousandths at the end of Sector 2, so he could break into the 129s here, coming to the line. What's he gonna do? He's in! 129.928. So now Smoothie is on the outside and Venom is on the bubble. Venom is up by 3/10 at the end of Sector 1, though. This could work out for him as Smoothie is coming to the line.
Smoothie coming to the line with Boothy behind him.
Oh, Smoothie improves, but not enough. He's still 100th too slow to beat Venom's time. Boothy is in 129.968.
Yeah, that pushes Venom down, but Venom's on a lap.
Venom is up by 3/10. If he can keep it together, he will also be in the 129 range. The clock has elapsed. It's Venom versus Dino. Venom is going to squeeze Dino out, goes up to a 129.654. That's the second fastest time we've seen thus far today, only 3 thousandths off of Waldo's time. Now we turn our focus to Dino. Can he squeeze Mr. Anderson out here in the last moments of qualifying? Oh, Pelly apparently made it to the line in time. I don't know how in the world he did it, but apparently Pelly is on a lap. All right, Dino
So-
coming down to the final corner at the line. Will he be in?
Yes, he will.
Yes!
Oh, no.
Anderson is out. Dino is in.
That pushes Anderson down. Too busy eating those Moams to go out on softs.
So now the focus is on Pelly, who I don't know how he did it, but somehow he got that Ferrari around in 50 seconds. It's not like he cut the track anywhere. There's nowhere to cut the track and gain an entire minute of time, but somehow we must have miscalculated something because Pelly is on a flying lap right now. At the end of Sector 2, this Ferrari, what is his time compared to his prior? He is up by 6/10. That would be enough to get him over Smoothie, but I don't think it would be enough to get him over Neon. He needs to be up by about 8/10 at the line. Coming to it. How
Let's
far
see.
up the grid does Pelly jump? It did not look like it was far enough.
It was around the border, wasn't it? It was either 10th, 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Let's see. No, it was
Looked like
11th.
he either got 11th or 12th. 11th, yep, so
Yeah.
just not fast enough. He will be one of the 4 drivers to not advance, along with Mr. Anderson in the Haas, Smoothie in the McLaren, and Zola in the Aston Martin. But the 10 drivers that do advance, Mr. Neon in the other Aston, Dino in the Mercedes, Lama and Boothie in the Alpine, Jabez John in the AlphaTauri, Edgar in the Ferrari, Verti and Lowe in the Alfa Romeo, putting down very competitive times to each other. Venom is in the Williams, and Waldo, the fastest lap on medium tires, 129.651.
Nice. Half the drivers in the top 10 on mediums, the rest on softs.
So a very even split at the end. And also of note, everyone from 1st to 8th, the spread between them in time is only 1/3 of a second, roughly, from Waldo to Lama. And the spread in times from Waldo to Neon in themselves, that's only about half a second. No, not even half a second. So a very close top 10. Now, obviously, some of the drivers who ran on mediums, their times are going to be hurt a little bit. We'll see them probably set faster times on the softs, I imagine. But still, very, very close in the top 10 right now.
More than
In fact,
likely.
if you look from 1st all the way down to 13th, the last guy who set a time, the range in times from 1st to 13th in itself is about 65 thousandths, or a little bit more than 6/10. So yeah, the entire top 13 very close on time actually.
Yeah, I mean, Waldo in first on medium tyres doing a 129.6. It's got to bode well for Q3 for him when he's not even on the soft tyres and he's doing a mid-29s. All right then, Q3. Oh, looks like Venom is the first out this time round. And we all know that once one leaves the garage, everyone will leave the garage, followed by Llama and Waldo and Vertix and
Field pulling
Neon.
out onto the track all at the same time, it seems.
Yeah, once one leaves, everyone leaves. And a Ferrari as well of Edgar. It's all but 3. All but 2 now coming out of the pits.
Yeah, Jabez John is traipsing down the pit lane as well, so that's just going to leave Boothie and Dino in pit road, and they still have time. They could elect to come out now and still have plenty of clean track ahead of them. The man with the cleanest track right now is this one right here, EPR Venom in the Williams.
Yeah, he's going to be the first one to start a lap, I think.
Also, I do want to go ahead and say this earlier. When I remarked earlier that the Ferrari came out really late in Q2 and that he could have been trying to do some shenanigans to block other people's, I was not saying he was doing that. I want to make it very clear. I'm not out there trying to accuse people of doing shady crap like that. I'm just saying I'm trying to think here of like why you would come out so late. I miscalculated, didn't realize he actually was going to be able to get a lap in, but it seemed to me like he wasn't able to get a lap, so I was really confused and trying to just reason out why it happened. I'm not trying to accuse him or anyone else of actively sabotaging other drivers'
Oh no,
laps.
of course not. Of course not. It was just he came out of the pits with 45 seconds to go. Like when a lap is a minute 30, then it's gonna take. You know, you're not gonna get a lap in, but yeah, maybe he wanted to get some more practice in. Maybe we don't know the reason, do we? So we can't like say why.
The weird thing is, he made it to the line and still was able to get another lap in and moved up from 13th to 11th. So
Crazy.
It wasn't wasted by any means.
Of course not. It must have been like Superman or something getting to the line that quick. Anyway, Llama is on a lap.
Everyone except for Dino and Boothie is on a lap right now, and Dino's coming to the start-finish line as we speak.
Sorry, it's Venom who's going to be the first to cross the line, isn't it? He's just going around Spoon now.
Laying hard on the ERS, this straightaway kind of difficult to do, but can serve great benefit for someone who has their car trimmed out for straight line speed, because aerodynamic drag is massive there. You're at only 187 miles an hour at the end of that straight, and though you can go full speed around 130R, you can do that with a relatively trimmed out car. The big thing about Suzuka, though, is that typically you want to have as much, well, not max downforce, but close to max downforce around here, because you need to maximize your grip throughout all the S's in Sector 1 and throughout that long run into Spoon in Sector 2.
Yes. Yeah, you need the high wings because it's a twisty track. You need those high wings, but
also, Boothie has gotten on track to begin his outlap. Drivers such as Lowe invalidating their first lap fuel to go for multiple laps. Neon was on a valid lap and aborted, so very interesting decision there. Edgar invalidated his lap, but he's staying out and going to go for another lap regardless. Davis Young was on a valid lap, and he comes in. And Dino has invalidated this lap as well, and he's low on fuel.
So Dino will be coming in. Edgar is on a lap. Waldo has just done a purple Sector 1.
Really aggressive into the hairpin. You can hear those tires screeching under the heavy braking loads that he puts it under before shooting out of that hairpin like a cannon. Well, like he's out of a cannon.
Purple Sector 2, 1 minute 12.6.
Venom crossed the line again, but that second lap was not any better than his first one. But right now, Llama and Venom are the only two in the 129s. Waldo crosses the line. Oof. He will join them. He will... I think that's an easy pole lockout. Waldo, 129.339. I don't think anyone has anything to do to match that.
You never know. But it's 3/10. It's a lot of time.
Like, and there's two cars that have gone off. Venom has gone off in Sector 1, and then farther up ahead of him, I think that's Llama who's gone off as well. No, that's Boothie. This Boothi's went off, and Boothie went off on his flyer and lap. So now Mr. Neon scoots by as Neon is on another outlap, as is Lowe. Gabiscon is still in pit lane and has not yet attempted to get out there and set another lap here.
You could go nearer the end of the session, I think. Neon is on an outlap.
Dino out of fuel, so he... Did they underfuel that car for a run? Because that says that he has no laps on that set of tires. So, yeah, I think they screwed up in the Mercedes pit. Dino did not put enough fuel in that Mercedes, and he ran out of fuel in Sector 3 by the looks of it.
Minimum fuel you can put in.
Boothy's had an accident. Boothy's had an incident there in the hairpin. He came to a dead stop. Did he hit somebody?
Nah, there was no one around him. He was either letting the car past or he made a mistake. There was
Well,
no one around
Edgar
him.
was already around him by the time they got to the hairpin. So I don't
Yeah.
know why Boothie came to a dead stop. There's literally no one else in Sector 2 right now besides him. Very strange, to say the least.
Yeah. As we were saying before, the minimum amount of fuel you can put in the car is 2.6 laps. So, unless he made a mistake in his outlap and tried to go again but ran out of fuel, Dino is back in the
Neon's
pits.
around! And
Oh,
he's
Neon.
going to just barely touch the wall. But there's no one else around him. He'll be able to continue without issue. The bad news for him, though, is that another lap invalidated.
Unlucky. Unlucky. He's still got time to go round and get in the pits, unless he has damage. He could, if he has damage, then obviously he'll have to pit. He could probably stay out.
Neon hit. Yeah, I was right on board with Neon when that happened. It didn't look like he touched the wall, or if he did, it was such a light glancing blow. I don't see there any way being damaged. So he can stay out and go. There's still more than 4 minutes left in this session. He has time to do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of time, isn't there? XRL Low goes into P3 with a 29.6. That puts him on the second row.
Right now, Verti and Boothie are the only two drivers who are not in the 129 range right now. Verti is out on track, trying to improve as we speak. Boothie is up by a bunch of time, but he's invalidated this lap as well. So it seems to always be one thing or another for Boothie right now, but he's been able to make it work thus far. He's one of the best qualifiers in XRL, X3, and X2, so hopefully he has something up that sleeve.
See Boothie with a 221.6. I'm not sure how that's not a pole time, if I'm honest with you.
Alright, Mr. Neon finally crosses with the 151.050 after the spin on his lap, and he's going for another one now. He had over half of the ERS charged up, so he can go hard on the ERS for pretty much this entire lap and not have to worry too much about it.
Yeah, he'll go quicker, won't he? Surely he has to go quicker than that.
No issue this time going through Sector 1 by the looks of it. At the end of Sector 1 alone, he is up by 17.1 seconds.
Still not enough. He needs to be up by more than 20 to really push for the top. He needs to be up by about 21 seconds to be able to push for the top 6.
Lowe has come in. He is not going to get another chance to get out on track and go any faster, I imagine, so I think he's locked into third at best with that 129.624. But Waldo, Llama, and Edgar are all out on circuit as we speak. Venom is in the middle of a flying lap. In fact, he's just started his lap. Verti is just a little bit ahead of him on the circuit right now.
There we go, 20.1 seconds up for Mr. Neon. So he's getting there now.
How much can he save here in Sector 3 while also utilizing the ERS hard? I think he's going to be in the 129s at the line.
29
He is.
Decent.
Alright, now it's up to Dino and Jabascan. Jabascan about to begin his flying lap. The attempt he made earlier did not work out well for him. He's going for it here, and Waldo's had an instant. Waldo has spun out in Sector 1. No damage to the car. He'll be able to continue, though.
Just got to be careful of the Aston, which he is. Actually, Boothie's gone into 6th now with a 29.7. Just behind Neon, but ahead of Venom.
So now, Verti is the only driver not in the 129 range right now, not counting Dino and Jabus, obviously, because they've not set laps themselves. Jabus at the end of Sector 1, his split time there will be a 33.046. As you see that car sparking under braking load. Verti jumps up to second, 129.427. Venom up to third, 129.432.
Now Jebus coming up to Spoon once again.
Power down, ERS full on, going down the straight. Verti up to 129.427. I just realized he's now gotten into the 129 range. So yeah, 130s are not going to cut it. You need to be in 129 to just have a good run here in this session. The good news, though, is I think everyone here has the ability to get into the 129s, including Dino and Jabus going at the line for Jabus. It will be a 129.987. What about Dino? He's in the middle of his lap right now, and time's up. Over. Plow in the session.
Tell you what, Jebus is a lucky boy. He got to the line with maybe a second or two spur, so he could be on another lap if he wants to be.
Waldo was down on time on that lap after that spin, but he's going to try and go faster again, irregardless. Llama, 129.398. That brings him up to second, but still not able to beat Waldo. Waldo still is the fastest person on track by at least 0.06 of a second.
Venom spun, so he's done. Vertix is in 5th gear, so he's done.
Cool down and out of fuel pretty much.
Edgar's just coming up towards 130R, so is Dino, I think. Yeah, let's have a look at Dino then.
Edgar's up by 1,500, so that might put him over low for Dino. He has not set a lap thus far. His only lap will be good enough for third. 129.424, just 3,000 over Verti. Edgar, wow, Edgar stuck at 129.345.
Wow.
Here comes James Dawn and Mr. Neon. Neon was up by 0.3 at the end of Sector 2. At the end of the lap, he ran out of fuel at the end of his lap, sadly.
Waldo's just gone quicker. Oh, wow.
Want to talk about putting the knee on the throat of the entire field. Waldo, 129.213.
Crazy.
Outstanding job on his part.
Yeah, nice lap to get P1 there. Into the 29.2s. It's crazy.
And everyone, look at that, the spread from 1st to 10th, everyone within 558,000. So just a little bit over half a second is the range from 1st to 10th. It's crazy. And although Waldo had what looked like 0.6 of a gap on the field at the start, that gap closed down real quickly. The big thing, though, in my opinion, is that Waldo he did have a spin, but of the 3 laps he took, 2 of them were in the low 129s. I think Waldo has the best chance of being nice and consistent in this race if he gets a good start in the event and doesn't let the medium tires that he starts on compromise him on positions in the first lap or 2. I think Waldo has the ability to possibly walk off with the win. The counterpoint to that, though, is that every driver who has dominated qualifying and been outright the fastest person on track has ended up getting involved in someone else's mess and not been able to finish the race that they've been in, with the exception of Dev, in which case the dominant driver ended up only finishing 6th. Pole might not necessarily mean a win here at Suzuka because pit strategy is going to be crazy with all the yellow flags.
Yeah, so we know it's going to be a one-stop without safety cars, but there's going to be safety cars more than likely. So strategy is going to be an interesting one. However, I'm going to go for a quick break. I will be back very, very soon.
We are going to go ahead and hold 1 minute of silence here in the broadcast booth in honor of Sir Frank Williams, the founder of the last privateer team within Formula One, the Williams team. A visionary in his time. We'll go ahead and hold a 1 minute worth of silence for him, and then when we return, we'll get you up to date on the tire strategy for the start of the race. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about 3 minutes out from the start of our race here at Suzuka. As we look real quickly at the grid as it stands right now, the top 4 starters of today's race, Waldo, Edgar, Lama, Dino, all starting on medium tires. And the 4 drivers behind them, Verti, Venom, Jabaston, and Lowe, all starting on the soft tire compound. Mr. Neon is going to be starting on the medium, and Boothie will also be starting on the softs. Then you get outside of the top 10, and that's where things get a little bit more interesting. IRC Dilly, Mr. Shmi, and Ocean Lion in the back, they are electing to start on softs by the looks of it. Young Maneuver and Torpedo electing to start on the mediums. Then you have 2 more soft starters with Sola and Smoothie 25. Mr. Anderson and Pelly both have medium tires currently equipped on their cars. Like I said, we are about 2.5, 3 minutes away from the start of the race itself after holding a minute of silence in honor of Sir Frank Williams. Should be going green at 4 minutes past the hour.
So we are holding a minute silence at 03, and then the race will begin at 04.
Should be getting underway relatively shortly here. I'm really interested looking at the race director and looking at all the starters. No one is electing to start on the hards. Everyone thinks that starting on the hards is just a bad deal in general. And I can't say it makes sense a little bit. Starting on the hards, yeah, you have to hope that not only do you avoid everyone else's issues, but you're not going to make up any ground on the track outside of collecting positions from the people ahead of you who inevitably crash or spin off circuit. And then, in addition to that, you will have to make your stop onto what will have to be soft tires very late in the race as well. So, I'm not surprised, but as someone who likes running the hard tires whenever possible, just to reduce the amount of time in pit road, it hurts me a little bit, man. I want to see a little bit more tire parity. But no, I'm not really all torn up about. Interestingly of note, though, Pelly and Anderson on medium tires, Boothie right ahead of them on soft, so we could see Pelly and Anderson try to jump Boothie very early on at the start of the race here. But the big thing, the front 2 rows on mediums, the 3rd and 4th row on soft tires. We're going to be getting underway here in about a minute's time.
Yeah, we're holding a minute's silence for Frank Williams, who died earlier today, age 79. We all know how good he was in F1. And so, the countdown has begun for X2 to begin.
Per usual,
at Japan.
I'm going to be focused primarily on the front of the grid at the start of the race, on the race down into turn 1. Getting off the line and getting off the line safely is going to be incredibly important here.
It will. Right then.
4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go here at Suzuka. The Red Bull at the back of the field didn't get going at all, but look at Dino pulls to the inside, trying to make it 3 wide. There's an AlphaTauri on the outside. The Williams of Vina ended up hitting the inside wall. He's already dropped down to 6th position as Waldo's already opened up 4 tenths on on. Llama at the front of the field. The top 6 have already gone into single file. James John trying desperately to hold Mr. Neon, as Neon has a head of steam behind that AlphaTauri Honda, but for the most part, the field seems to be relatively smooth and even, although Pelly is having issues out there. Boothie gets a time penalty for track violations. We're not even through an entire lap. Pelly trying to see if he can sneak by Zola.
Dilly
That's
onto the
not
gravel.
working out very well for him right now.
Dilly onto the gravel, lost out to Torpedo there. He's done alright so far, moved up to 17th from 19th. Dilly maybe having a look at Torpedo, but not too close yet. Low and Vertex have swapped around. And Low.
Oh no, and Venom's
no.
around right in front of them. It's a multi-car accident. 3-4 cars involved at least. Venom, the entire front wing is off. Somehow that's only a virtual safety car, but also somehow both of the AlphaTauris will be able to continue despite being caught up in that. And we were riding right on board with Venom as that happened. So a full course safety car, this will turn out well for Ocean Lion, who ended up getting involved in an incident farther back in the grid. He'll be able to make up some positions and somewhat negate the loss of time that he suffered at the start. But Verti is going to have to pit. Jabez John, Mr. Anderson, Boothie, a bunch of drivers involved in incidents here at the start. Whew.
5 drivers pit under the virtual. Dilly moving up to 12th, started in 19th. And we're back underway racing.
Relatively short safety car period, as Pelly is already right there behind Zola trying to put pressure on him. And then Zola is one part of the bread, Neon the other, in a sandwich as they are sandwiching the AlphaTauri of XRL Low, but Low is way closer to Zola than he is from Neon. Neon's a good near 4 seconds up the road. Farther up the grid, though, Dino, Edgar, and Llama are all on top of each other, first, second, and third. Waldo is trying to get away. Llama's not really letting that happen, though. And we're likely going to see DRS.
Ocean Lion.
Ocean Lion's out.
Ocean Lion has DNF from the race. Oh, and Mr. Anderson spun as well. Boothie with a 3-second
Boothie,
time penalty.
another time penalty again. So he gets 6 seconds of time penalties in the first 2 laps alone. That's incredible. As Llama has caught Waldo.
Zola on the back of Low. Dilly on the back of Torpedo. And Jebus John on the back of Vertex.
Llama has a huge head of steam against Waldo. They're going to be neck and neck as they enter the end of the straightaway. Under braking, who's it going to be? And Llama scoots by Waldo in the braking zone. And our first lead change of the day happens on lap 3. Now the counterpoint, though, is that DRS is going to start working in Waldo's favor at the start of the next lap.
Oh, Zola's disconnected. He'll want to get back in as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he'll be dropping down the order. And another yellow flag. That is
It's Dilly.
Dilly who has spun.
In the S's, but unlike in qualifying, he is still able to continue with very much no damage to the car right now. The top 4, you could throw a blanket over them right now. They're all on top of each other. That will likely change as Llama and Waldo are in perfect position to do lots of battles with each other down the straights.
No, Zola had a power cut.
Ooh! Edgar with a big step out there coming out of Spoon.
Oh, and Pelly nearly the same. But yeah, Zola's had a power cut, so he's coming back online very, very soon. Hopefully. As Pelly on the inside gets past just before 130R, up into 7th. Llama with another fastest lap. Oh, Torpedo late braking. Nearly didn't make the corner.
Here comes Smoothie with a head of steam as Dino has gotten by Edgar at the end of the main straight. Smoothie's going to try and do the same to Zola. It's a DRS drag race. Young Maneuver wants to capitalize, but he's not in a position to do so.
Oh.
And Smoothie is around, and Young hits Zola. Smoothie got that inside curve and spun around all on his own. The good news, though, for him, he did not hit anything. The bad news, he's lost positions and now has to hold Torpedo behind him.
Smooth probably getting a little bit over aggressive with Zola's AI. Just trying too hard to get
fastest
past.
lap on the soft tires.
Nice.
Obviously, that time's going to continue to fall as this race goes on, but irregardless, very interesting. Also, Mr. Neon is slowly catching up to the top 4, but at the front, Llama has actually opened a small gap on
yellow flag.
Llama here.
Yellow flag, that's Boothie off the track. It's back on now.
Top 4 all still relatively close to each other in perfect position
Oh,
to make
Jebus
moves
John.
if necessary.
Jebus John retiring from the session and a full safety car. Ooh,
And that's
died
going
on
to
the
really
hairpin.
play havoc. So now the question is, does anyone elect to pit? The top 4 already were past the start-finish line pretty much when that happened. Neon is going to elect to not pit.
Soft
What
tires.
about Low?
Low pits.
Low will pit off the soft tires. He was in 6th. He's going to lose some positions, but not as many as you might think because the field has not properly gathered up yet. Smoothie, is he going to pit? Yes,
Yeah.
he will pit as well. You could feasibly throw on hard tire compounds and run those to the end of the race at this point in the event.
Maneuver pits off mediums. So McLaren double stack. Potentially damaged.
There's damage on Maneuver's front wing, yeah.
Yeah,
So this is going to
so-
be very bad because Smoothie had apparently some damage as well. So the McLarens are going to drop deep down the order now.
Boothie stays out. In a position.
As will Venom. Anderson will go ahead and come in. There must have been some damage to that car that I hadn't seen. This will likely be a long safety car. We're going to go ahead and try to get both Ocean Lion and Jabuscon into the party to hear what happened from their perspective.
So Anderson coming off the soft tires. Going hot mediums for a long stint. Could probably get to the end on mediums, to be fair. We've got about 16 laps, so it's only 5 extra laps. Although saying that, they are on 70% at that point. Jebus in the Twitch chat saying barely touched the wall. The walls are very, very unforgiving at Japan. It's like Monaco or Azerbaijan, and you touch the wall and your wheel falls off.
The walls here are extremely springy, but they also like to flex upward, and that can catch your front wing, your front suspension, almost any part of the car underneath them, and lead you to a lot of issues. We saw, I believe it was Dave Ewart going out on lap 2 in the X3 race, and the impact itself was hard enough, but what really took him out is that the nose of the car and the entire front suspension basically got wedged underneath and cracked underneath the pressure. Llama is pitting and throwing on a set of hards, but this is going to drop him down to 13th. That was the penalty. The top 4 guys were just past the pit lane entry when that yellow flag came out. They were not able to take advantage of the early yellow properly. So now Llama goes from being top 4 to down in 15th, and he's on hard tires. He's going to have to hope and pray that a bunch of drivers up ahead of him end up with issues that either take him off track or out of the race, because overtaking on hards is going to be, let's just say, extremely difficult.
Yeah, if he can stick with the pack, then he won't have to pit. So he's got a pit stop on. He's got a pit stop on all the other drivers now. 'Cause on hards, he can get to the end, whereas the other drivers can't.
Alright, Young Maneuver and Mr. Anderson are rushing to catch up to the field here, so we should be going green on lap 7. One driver I know for a fact that will have to pit one more time will be XRL Low. I'm gonna be honest, there's no way that you can make that set of softs last 21 laps unless we go full safety car and virtual safety car for almost every lap for the remainder of the race. I'm just stating that as a fact.
Yes, I mean, even medium runners will probably have to pit again. By lap 16, it says that they'll be on about 70%, so probably not going to happen for them either.
Hard
So
tires
Llama,
was the,
sorry.
hard tires at the end of the race was the winning strategy in the X3 race. It might work out here in X2 as well. Llama, very attentive, very aware, and when he absolutely needs to be, he can be very fast as well. But being in 15th, having to work your way up to the field, I'm going to be honest, I really don't like doing that. Honestly, I'm going to be honest, I think it probably would have been better to have probably been qualifying midfield today and then just kind of let the leaders get trapped behind you rather than, you know, starting the race out front. Where it is, safety car coming in this lap.
So, end of lap 6, safety car in. You watch the front, I'll watch the back.
Dino right there behind Waldo. Waldo didn't really work on bunching the field up. In fact, he's already trying to stretch out just a bit. Dino's not letting him go. Dino closes in a little bit, and someone else who does as well. Mr. Neon right behind Edgar. Edgar is on Dino. Dino had to back out to not run over the back of Waldo. Neck and neck for a second position. Dino's going to hold on to it over Edgar for the moment. Pelly is now up there in 5th as well.
Venom's got past Boothy. Dilly's got past Smooth. Maneuver.
What can Llama do? Waldo already opening up a second of a gap over XRL Dino at the end of Sector 1, although Dino's closing back in, or trying at least to close back in right now, as the field rushes now through the slower, more technical sections of Sector 2 and dives into the hairpin. Low thought of a move on Mr. Shmee, but he ended up not being able to commit to it. Shmee was faster on the outside. That would work out for the Red Bull quite well for the moment. Fresh soft tires for Low, though he's going to try and abuse them as much as he can, try to get Shmee to wear his tires out sooner rather than later. Oh, and Dilly's around back there. No damage to the Williams. No damage to the Williams, but that's going to drop him to dead last on the grid for the moment. As once more now, Edgar is right there behind Dino.
Venom may have damage there. He broke super late. It's the back of Vertex.
I see no damage to that car right now, but that will open up a chance for
Good
Boothy to make it the position. Edgar over Dino! And Edgar gets second position over Dino now.
And Low gets
Low finally gets by Shmee, and Llama over Smoothie.
Oh, but Venom makes a mistake. He loses it a little bit. So Boothy in 11th, Venom in 12th.
And Smoothie made a big mistake, missed the braking zone altogether in turn 1 and fell right back to 16th. Now Mr. Neon is starting to put pressure on Dino. Dino, it seems, is having trouble putting down the laps that Edgar and Waldo are right now.
Oh, yellow flag on that Vertex.
Oh, and Vertex has had an issue. And there is wing damage on that car. He is able to continue, but there is wing damage, so it's going to be a long, rough run. As Young Maneuver now gets by Llama.
May have been contact between Venom and Llama, and now Llama has moved all the way down to 14th, lost out to Venom, Maneuver, and Mr. Anderson.
Young Maneuver going hard on Venom, but now Venom steps out. Here comes Anderson on Young Maneuver. Drag race down the straightaway, and it looks like it's going to be Anderson. Young Maneuver's going to descend in 130 yard to hold the place.
Yeah, Anderson had to back out there, otherwise that would have been a bit awkward for both drivers.
That gives Llama a chance to maybe strike back. Oh, wow! And Venom hard into the pit lane barrier wall. And the car is stranded in the middle of the racetrack. Verti will pit, and that is a full course safety car.
Wow.
Massive accident for Venom.
Venom with a late call to go into the pits, misjudged the turning, and goes into the wall.
This is going to be a long safety car period, more than likely.
It'll probably be next lap, I think. So beginning of lap 11. It's got to do one full lap before coming in, so it'll be next lap.
It's either going to be lap 11 or lap 12. The big thing is This will be Llama's best chance to start moving up positions if drivers farther up the grid, like Mr. Schmee, who was on the same soft tires he started the race on, elect to pit. The thing is Llama close enough to the front of the grid to capitalize if the leaders go ahead and pit or not.
Yeah, he'll have plenty of time to get past them all.
One other benefit, Verti had wing damage, and he was already on the way into pit lane. This yellow flag, perfect for him because he's able to get the wing repaired, and now he just needs to catch up to the back of the grid. All right, at the front, who pits? Waldo stays out, Edgar stays out, Dino stays out, Mr. Neon is going to pit out fourth, Pelly stays out, Zola stays out, Lowe comes in, Torpedo stays out, Schmee comes in, Boothie stays out, Young Maneuver stays out, Mr. Anderson stays out, Llama obviously is going to stay out, Smoothie is going to stay out, IRC Dilly is going to come in. So now Llama is back in the points paying positions. Neon throws on a set of hards, and that will last him to the end of the race. Lowe throwing on a set of mediums. Those will last him to the end of the race as well, although they will be a little bit upset by race end. Schmee is on mediums, Dilly is on mediums as well, and obviously Verti is on mediums. So everyone from 12th on back can make it to the end on this set of tires.
Vertex pits. At back of the grid.
What's going on there that would cause him to decide to pit again.
Probably hards to the end.
They're
Oh,
throwing-
soft tires.
Softs, and they're serving a time penalty apparently as well.
Yeah, soft tires. Interesting choice. He will have the pace with the soft tires. They're quite a bit quicker actually than the mediums, so he'll be.
And way faster than the hards,
Oh,
but
God.
they're gonna fall off. And
Okay, that looked maybe like a reset to track.
I don't know if that was a reset to track or a glitch, but
Ooh, you don't. You tend. If that's a glitch, I've never seen it before. That maybe looked like a reset to track.
well, either way, it's not likely that he's going to be able to catch the back of the grid before we go green flag, assuming we go green coming on to lap 11. The rest of the field is all gathered up right now in the end of Sector 2, and Sector 3 is a relatively short one, so...
Yeah, it'll be one more lap, unless the game wants to make it a late call. Probably not. Yeah.
Lights are still on the safety car, so it looks like, yeah, we're not going to go green until lap 12. So if you were to divide this race into sets of 3 laps each, 9 sets of 3 laps, we'd be going green entering the 4th set. It seems. Yeah, Verti is only now 30 seconds out. Well, if he did reset to track, hoping that would get him caught up to the back of the field faster, it absolutely did not, because it's much better to just kind of be, running nice and consistently, pit lane speed limit down the main straightaway, then coming out, rather than, trying to start from a standing start on the track. But again, I think that may have been a glitch. I'm not going to go ahead and say that it was a manual reset to track.
No, I'm not
really
either.
think that was probably a glitch, especially considering that there's no benefit to be had for him by doing that, especially under the safety car.
Yeah, it makes no sense to do that. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if it was a glitch or what it was, but it's done now, so...
Frustrating thing for Verti is that his soft tires are going to be nice and hot, and then he's going to catch the back of this grid, and for about over half of a lap, he's going to be trundling along trying to maintain heat in the tires. It's going to be more than a little bit aggravating for him, I imagine.
Yeah, at the back of the field like that, the best place would be to catch up would probably be around 130R area. Then your tyres can stay warm. But we know for a fact now that the safety car will be in this lap, so everyone can prepare for that.
Assuming the field doesn't have a massive multi-car pileup under the yellow, like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, everybody currently on track is on the lead lap right now. Verti backs off the back of the field a bit to try and get more heat in the rears. Cheeky decision, but okay.
Yeah,
if it's legal, it's legal.
That's the easiest way of warming up the rears is backing off a little bit and then just accelerate.
Well, as it comes to time penalties, right now, only 2 drivers have earned them. IRC Dilly has 3 seconds of time penalty. Boothie has 6 seconds. He earned both of those both 3-second penalties in the first 2 laps, so it's clean for Boothie's afterwards. And word's official, we're going green this lap. So Waldo, Edgar, and Dino will lead the field to the green flag. What's it gonna be as we take the green once more here at Suzuka?
And he's gone.
Edgar a little bit faster than Waldo down the straight due to having draft advantage, but not close enough to make a move. The top 3, though, really pulled out a gap on Pelly. And farther back, you look at Young Maneuver, Mr. Anderson, Llama, they're all on top of each other.
Anderson had a look at the maneuver, made a small error, but can't get past. He's nearly about 3/10 now. We have a yellow flag. Torpedo has retired from the session.
Well, we're still under the green flag, but another DNF for Torpedo is not going to serve well for him. And Waldo's had an incident. Waldo has slipped out of the lead and fallen all the way to 5th. He ran wide there in Sector 2 and has dropped all the way down to 5th position now.
He's lost out to Edgar, Dino, Pelly, and Zola. And we know that Zola's is one of the most difficult people to pass at any track, never mind Japan. So could be in for a long race.
And Waldo and Zola both have to pit sooner rather than later because right now the pit window, I'd say, is starting to open up. If there's another yellow flag, I imagine everyone in the top 5 right now will pit to get off the tires. Waldo's going to want to get by Zola sooner rather than later, or try and force Zola to get a whole bunch of time penalties.
Oh, IRC Dilly, how is he not dead? He smashed that wall with a lot of force. How is he still alive in this race? Lucky boy. Oh, and
lucky
he's
for him.
and
he's into the wall.
Lovely.
I don't think that was purposeful. He was definitely turning to make it in.
He was trying to make it in.
That's a full course safety car.
That is a safety car, and his car's in the middle of the track.
For IRC Dilly, a massive accident takes him out as the field continues to whittle itself down and shake itself apart. We're also going to try and get to talk to Torpedo and see what happened to take him out as well. So now, if you're in the top 5 positions, do you choose to get off these tires now, or do you wait until another inevitable safety car?
Well, depending on strategy, it's around about lap 16. If the drivers are feeling lucky, then maybe they could. I don't know if they would want to this early go on to soft.
Field right now just racing to try and catch up to the safety car aisle. And Dino is pitting out 2nd. Pelly is pitting out 3rd. Waldo pitting out 4th. Zola is going to stay out, though.
Yeah, Zola stays out. Edgar and Zola staying out. Boothie staying out.
Llama is now filtered up into the 5th position, but everyone outside of the top 8 is pitting, and it looks like fresh softs are the order of the day for most of these drivers. Young Maneuver throwing on a set of fresh mediums, and Neon fresh mediums as well. Verti putting on a set of mediums that have had a heat cycle that's gone through them. It just happened to Verti again. I think it's a glitch because now Verti has lost significant amounts of time. That is definitely a glitch. There's no way that he would have done that intentionally. He's lost a bunch of time there that time. He was right there behind Mr. Neon, and now he's like 3 seconds behind him. I'm positive it's a glitch. Thankfully, though, it's only happening under the safety car, and he's been at the back of the grid, so it's not been causing a negative impact on the race. But this is a very stable game, to say the least.
And we have Harry in the chat saying, "Story insane. I'm not joining. Very disappointed."
Alright, I'm not surprised. Also, Venom was nice enough to send me a message privately. He had nothing good to say except that the car was good. He just wasn't able to perform with it. So, sorry about that. No luck talking with Dilly about what's happened to him either, so. Well, the entire field's gathered back up, but I think we're probably going to not go green until lap 16. I hope we go green this lap, but I don't think it's very likely.
Let's see. Well, the cars have caught up, so it'd be a late call.
Yeah, we're not going green this lap, it would appear. It looks like they're going to make us trundle around for another lap.
Yeah.
For Edgar and Zola, they do have a slight advantage. They still have 2 more drivers on medium tires behind them that will be able to run a little bit of interference. And Llama really hasn't been making a lot of overtakes on these hard tires. Every spot he's gained since pitting has just been by virtue of the people ahead needing to, you know, pit or having an incident ahead of him. So Llama's not exactly looked super fast on the hards, honestly. Now, he's not been passed either. That should be stated as well, but, he's not exactly been passing many people either.
No, he's been he's been consistent up in P5. He's just chilling out. Pitting to hards
he
on
is
the
guaranteed.
last. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, pitting to hards under the last safety car, he may have made the right decision there because, like you say, you know, he's gaining places and he's not losing places either. So he's. I'm on the way to
as long as nothing happens to Llama, or Llama doesn't end up with earning a bunch of time penalties or anything, he's guaranteed to inherit the race lead. And it's been really hard. Once we get really late into the race and the field gets spread out, DRS almost means nothing. If Llama can get out front and the field gets nice and strung out, as long as we don't have another safety car, this could be Llama's victory. Smoothie is behind him on medium tires of comparable wear, actually a little bit more wear. But Smoothie's tires probably are going to be hurting real bad by the end of the race. It's Lowe and Mr. Shmee, who is 7th and 8th. They have medium tires that are a little bit more likely to make it to the end. Dino, Pelly, and Waldo are going to be the really interesting trio to watch, though, because they're restarting on softs. Those softs are going to be lightning fast. It's still going to be hard for them to make up position, but they're going to be lightning fast. The thing is, those softs are going to be crying out in agony in the last few laps of this race. They are going to hate their lives.
Yeah, they'll be dying by the end, won't they? They will. They'll be so worn. But if they can make it work, then they're in a great position as well to get to the end.
Indeed. But they need to somehow get by Lowe, Shmee, Smoothie, and Llama before their softs start falling off. There's the word safety car coming in this lap. Still, the entire field was bunched up that entire lap, and it was still a very late decision. Poor call by the AI stewards, FAI stewards. Yeah, FIA is what real life will call it FAI in this game because it fails worse than the FIA. As we are under green flag now, Edgar with a little bit over half a second lead on Zola at the line, and Boothie immediately losing his spot to Mr. Anderson going down the straight.
Yeah, the side by side going into turn 1. Oh, Anderson backed out. Oh, but he might get him on the...
Nah, he's not close enough yet. But it seems like Anderson is plainly faster than Boothie.
Oh, and he makes...
starts to restart. Ooh! Big step out, but he saved it.
Llama didn't want to go for it in the S's.
Oh, and Boothie's around now, all by himself.
Oh, Boothie.
Front wing damaged, but not destroyed. He will be able to continue, but Boothie now out, and that brings Llama up in the 4th now.
Llama into 4th on the back of Anderson.
Back. Dino has caught Mr. Shmee. Does he make a move in the hairpin? The answer is no. No one wants to be too aggressive in the hairpin. Although Dino gets alongside on exit, he's a little bit more comfortable putting the power down at a slower pace, so he's not too worried about it. He does seem to be faster than Shmee, sticking the nose of that Mercedes out to get fresh air on that wing. He's still right behind the entire field from about 6th to 9th, 6th to 10th almost, all on top of each other as they go down the non-DRS straightaway. Here we go. Will Dino make the move for 7th here?
He's having a gander.
Here he comes. Not going to commit to it. Dino goes to the inside of Dino, and there's contact.
Dino goes deep into the hairpin. He may have been preparing for a move on Shmi, but it doesn't work out. So we'll have to wait till next lap, I guess, to try again.
Well, the front three have all spread out pretty significantly. When DRS kicks in, it's not going to affect the leaders. It's going to affect all these guys in the mid-pack. Dino is all over Mr. Shmi. The soft tires are blatantly faster, but there's nowhere on track that he can comfortably get alongside and overtake.
Yeah. That's the issue with the track. You can't really get alongside in very many places.
Waldo just set the fastest first sector of the race there, despite being behind multiple drivers. So there's no doubt about it. Waldo's the fastest man out here, but he can't do anything. Dino is kind of holding the entire group of soft tires behind him because he's caught behind Shmi and can't get by. He gets alongside him in some of the braking zones, but can't make the dive to get by that Red Bull.
He had a little chance there to maybe try and get alongside, but it's more the fact that he's trying now, and he gets it just about done before 130. Oh, and Waldo behind him trying to save. Waldo just can't quite do it.
Bold move for Waldo, and he wisely decided to back out of it at the last moment.
Yeah, he did. Vertex with a 3-second time penalty. Oh, he's trying now.
Maneuver has had an issue.
He's trying now, try and get alongside. He needs the slipstream to be able to get past. Oh, nearly
Yeah,
broke too
seems
late.
like the Haas doesn't seem to be super well split out for straight line speed, but he made a dive, and the S has to back out of it.
He tried to get it done, and he couldn't quite, but probably the right decision to be there to back out though. Don't want to be going side to side through the
Meanwhile, up
exit.
near the front, while Edgar has a 2.3 second lead over Zola, Anderson has caught Zola. He's faster than him on slightly fresher tires.
Yellow flag. That is Vertex.
It's happened again. He keeps getting lagged onto the circuit every time he pits, and it's costing him bunches of time. Thankfully, again, there's no one around on track when it's happening, but it's not going well for Verti. He's basically losing an extra 4 or 5 seconds a lap in the process. Here comes Anderson on Zola now for second.
We have Dino, who's on the back of Low now, and Waldo managed to get past Shmi. Mr. Neon's very close to Pelly as well.
Pelly may have already burned off the best of his soft tires, being stuck behind other cars in traffic.
And Zola's
Zola
in the pit.
pitting out a second. This will drop Zola almost to the back of the grid. Here we go. Dino is going to go alongside multiple. He made an almost 3-wide overtake. He's now behind Low right now. So Dino up into 5th. He's gotten by Waldo, gotten by Smoothie. So for right now, Dino just needs to get by Low and get by Llama before those soft tires fall off, and then he may have a chance at winning this race.
Maybe, and with Zola pitting as well, that pushes Llama into the podium positions, up into 3rd now. He's trying
the top 2 drivers are still guaranteed to have to make one more stop.
Yeah. And Llama.
Oh, wow! Smoothie really stepped out there, and Waldo leapt for it and took the position like a madman.
And Llama.
That was incredible. That right there is a driver of the day kind of move for Waldo.
And Llama's made a gap on Low as well of about 1.5 seconds, so he's well on his way to getting to the front of the grid. Dino is 3/10 behind Low on the straight.
He's in the draft, but he's not laying too hard on the ERS. He's just using draft to stay in touch with Low. He'll use DRS on the next straightaway to try and get by the Alfa Romeo because the Alfa is not within DRS range of Llama as they went through the detection zone there.
Needs a good exit here. Stick behind him for now, opens up DRS, uses DRS, and he goes alongside.
Low actually set the fastest lap of the race there, but he's still going to get passed by Dino.
Yeah, Dino.
So now Dino is up into 4th.
He's
Now the question is, can Dino catch and overtake Llama and then get away from him before those soft tires start dying?
now Waldo is behind low. So the soft runners are spread out. Oh, Pelly nearly spun out, just hit the back of Shmi. Didn't get any damage, I don't think.
Yeah, no visible damage to that car, it would appear. Edgar, oh, and now Neon just hit Pelly in the back in the braking zone. No damage to the car, but he's really hard on the brakes, and he just about hit that Ferrari in the hairpin again. Well, one person that this has not worked out for is Zola. He is now trapped there in 12th position, and he is 12 seconds out from... Oh, and Boothie, an accident. He has ripped that entire front wing off in the S's.
Oh,
I'm going to be honest, it looks like Boothie is going to go and lap down today here at Suzuka in both X3 and X2.
Yeah, there's still just about a full sector between Boothie and the leader, so it's... There's only 6 laps left, so it's probably unlikely. I think it's unlikely. To be fair, I think he's going to be alright.
Here comes Llama on Mr. Anderson. Anderson is not able to keep up with Edgar. He is struggling to stay ahead of Llama right now. But the real interesting part is Dino is there closing. We're going to have the fight for this win here going on right now in what's going to be second and third and fourth place positions.
I tell you what, Edgar and Anderson, their mediums must be absolutely worn. Like, so worn. Like, it must be difficult to control that car right now with those tyres that they've got on, but they're doing it pretty well. And Anderson is just holding Llama back as best as he can. In fact, there's a queue of cars all the way down to 6th place Waldo. And Vertix has retired from the session.
Vertix out in sector 1.
Has he taken a car with him, maybe? Shmi's... There may have been an incident there between Shmi and Maneuver, and... But I'm not sure, they may have just been going slow. Doesn't look like there's going to be a safety car, which is good. Means we can continue racing. Dino looks like he could have a run on Llama. He's been using his ERS quite a lot.
Thing is, Llama is going to have DRS and will likely overtake Anderson on the straight here. The entire field is queuing up behind that Haas as Edgar is pitting out of the lead now.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness, what in the world?
Oh, dear.
Boothie,
what happened there?
Was that Boothie? No, there was a Alpha, not an Alpha,
An Alpine, wasn't there?
An Alpine. But both of the Alpines are already out, I thought. Or was that Boothie?
No, mate, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Llama
Boothie.
is in the Alpine.
No,
Boothie's in the Alpine.
Well, it wasn't Llama, because Llama's
up there.
I think
Boothie's
Boothie
up there.
Boothie got pushed onto the racetrack by the looks of it. The same glitch that's been hitting Verti now hit Boothie, and it was right in front of the field. And Dino, the man who was climbing up the grid with mad pace, is now out.
And now Anderson's left the session. He's been disconnected, so will he be able to get in? It's a good job there's a safety car for Anderson, but he's in the lead now, and Llama's in second, so hopefully they can get back in. Lowe's up into third.
The thing with Anderson is that Anderson technically doesn't have to pit again for this race. At least I don't think so. I don't think he started on medium tires. If I remember correctly, he started on softs. So with that in mind, Anderson could stay out for the end of the race. But Llama is going to be faster on those tires. And Pelly gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car now.
You'll have to
Despite the fact that we're under yellow and he just needs to catch up to the grid, but he gets penalized for speeding under the safety car. Game continues to be retarded.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they'll have a delta, won't they?
Lowe pitting out of third position. I wonder if he's repairing damage from that bizarre accident that happened there. Yep, that seems to be exactly what they're doing. And they're also going to go ahead and throw on a set of sauce, but he's going to be dropped out of the points-paying positions more than likely.
Well, we have 11
Well, now
drivers
only
left. Guaranteed points for them all, as long as they can stay in.
If everyone here can make it to lap 25, they will be credited with completing 90% of the race distance, and they will get points.
Yes.
Well, as it stands right now, something really interesting, in my opinion at least, everyone who's still on track has no penalties with the exception of Pelly, who was just awarded a bullcrap penalty. All right, coming to the party right now is Boothie. Boothie, go ahead, include your audio. What happened out there?
I went into the pit to change tyres. It put me on the soft tyres, let me out my pit box, and then it drove through the pit building and returned me to track, and then Dino hit me up the arse because I was stationary in the middle of the track.
Yeah, we've been seeing this glitch quite a lot with Vertix as well, when he's been pitting, like just reappearing on track randomly.
Yeah, I literally went through the pit building and out the other side.
Jesus. Well, it is a shame because you were running.
Doing very bad.
Well, you were running in 13th at the time, so not too bad.
Yeah.
You were in position to potentially get points if you would just be able to finish the race, so...
Potentially.
I retired for safety reasons because I weren't sure if my connection was playing up or if it was a glitch, so I thought better be safe and not ruin anyone else's race.
Yeah.
Well, I can confirm it was 100% a glitch because we saw it happen 3 times in a row to Verti. The first time, Fiend, please don't take this as me trying to lash out at you,
Of
right?
course
Because I'm not. But first time, Fiend thought that he manually reset to the track,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, that makes no sense because he lost a bunch of time doing so. And then he did it like 2 more times, and it was like, there was no reason. So yeah, Boothie, I'm really sorry, mate, but you're just the unfortunate victim of another bizarre F1 2021 glitch.
Yeah, great. Yeah, well.
Oh well. Yeah, it's USA in a couple of weeks, isn't it? Do you have any? Do you think you'll be able to bounce back in USA and maybe get some points?
Quite like America. It's just a matter of corner cutting penalties, really.
Yeah, especially in the S's, isn't it? That can be very tricky to overcome.
I mean, literally on the first lap in this race, I did 3 corners and got a 3-second penalty.
And then
Yeah.
you did the same thing on the second lap as well.
I don't know. I was literally only went wide on 1 corner and it just went penalty. Went wide again, penalty.
Well, unlucky, mate. Hopefully, it works out a bit better in USA in a couple of weeks.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, have fun.
Okay. Farewell. Hey, real quick, is it just me or am I seeing rain on the track?
There is a little bit of rain on the track. I'm not sure
So this
why.
could really upset everything. Rain with 4 laps to go. We're about to go green on lap 25. So rain with 3 laps to go. And everyone's on slick tires. This could be a randomized game of survival, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, here we go. Time for a little bit of Formula 1 Squid Game edition.
Yeah, the rain is definitely falling. I'm right on board with Waldo. The rain is definitely out as we are green and underway here. Rain in the last moments of the race. Even if you
and side
were
by
to pit
side.
coming to the green flag,
Love
it
it.
wouldn't matter though because he wouldn't have time to make up ground. You just have to survive on what you have right now.
Yeah, Low and Shmee side by
Shmee
side and
on the
Low.
inside of Low couldn't make it stick. Llama all over Mr. Anderson right now. Llama has hard tires. Anderson has very worn mediums. Waldo has worn sauce. Everyone except for Edgar and Lowe is on bad tires. But even if you're on good tires, you might not be able to maintain grip as the track is wetting up as we speak.
Maybe not. This could be Llama's worst nightmare on those hard tyres. I think so, in the wet at least. When it's weather like this, soft tyres are probably the best tyre to be on. Zola is all over the back of Smooth. And
Not to
Edgar.
mention, I don't think we're going to get a chance for DRS to be engaged. If DRS kicks in, it's only going to be coming to the checker flag. Shmi has just had an incident. He has fallen to dead last, so that's moved Zola up into the points now. Mr. Neon has a run on Pelly down the non-DRS straight.
Yeah, he had a quick look, but couldn't get close enough, and maybe just backing off a little bit to have that run into turn 1 if he has a good exit here. So,
all right, coming down, it will be 2 laps to go at the line. The gap between first and second is half a second. Llama is not able to keep up with Anderson right now. Waldo is putting incredible pressure on the Alpine.
Neon can't get there, so we'll stay behind Pelly. We have another yellow flag. What's happened here? Pelly makes a mistake and they're side by side.
Neon, can he stick with it? No, he can't. He backs out. Now here comes Yamaneuver, but Yamaneuver has to back out. Now Edgar wants to try and capitalize. He has to back out. It's just an accordion effect all through the grid as Shmi gets a time penalty. Pelly still has to serve his drive-through as well. That's the other thing. That penalty he has is a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, he'll have to do that before the end of the race, hopefully. Well, he'll have to do it.
Here comes Waldo and Waldo. Side by side for second. They make a little bit of contact, and Waldo very nearly goes off circuit, but he will lose the position. So Llama holds on to second for a little bit longer, but Anderson is starting to walk off with this.
So what we saw from last week, Anderson in the rain is he's very unbeat. He's very, very tricky to beat in the rain. Llama on hard tires. Oh my god. Find Waldo and Pelly, and then Neon, who's open in ERS, trying to get a run on Pelly. Still can't get there. Edgar only a couple of tenths behind maneuver.
We've gotten word DRS has not been enabled yet. So what that means is that if there's going to be an overtake for the win this last lap, Anderson's going to have to make a massive mistake. Pelly finally serving his penalty. DRS has been enabled, but it won't matter because you're not really going to have DRS except for a split second before hitting the checkered flags here. Edgar has a run on Yamaneuver. He looks to the inside, can't make a tick.
Waldo a couple of tenths behind Llama.
They're both closing in on Anderson now. Once again, I have to wonder if maybe Anderson's tires have given up the ghost. He's lost about 2 tenths in about 6 corners there.
And another yellow flag.
Neon off circuit.
Neon off circuit has to wait now for a gap, which he's got. Drops down to 9th. Waldo has a run on Llama.
Here. Oh, it's the same move he tried last time, and he couldn't make it stick, and he doesn't make it stick this time either. Hard into the wall. He's out.
Oh my gosh, Waldo into the wall. DNF from this race.
And that's your points leader. That's your points leader. The same thing we saw in the X3 race happens in the X2 race. And now Llama is going to have to try and do something to Anderson, but I don't even know if he can keep that car on track. That car is super squirrely.
A little bit further back, Zola only a couple of tenths behind Smooth.
Here comes Edgar for Yamaneuver for the podium position. He's looking on the outside on soft tires on the wet racetrack.
Oh,
they contact once, twice. They're both off circuit. They're still side by side on the run down to the braking zone.
Oh, and maneuver round the outside gets the position back. Oh, but now round the outside is
They're both in the dirt, and they spin in a big accident.
Oh,
in a massive accident. And Edgar's not going to make it to the line. Anderson wins. Llama second. Yamaneuver third. Low fourth. Smoothly fifth. Zola sixth. Edgar is going to try and go backwards across the line to make it. He will finish 7th. 8th will go to his teammate Pelly. 9th will go to Mr. Neon. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Well, the track didn't wet up as fast as I thought, but there definitely were some instances at the end just due to the wet circuit. Yamaneuver driver of the day, considering he survived getting run off circuit at the very end to still come home in the race, I could accept that. But for Find Waldo,
wait a minute,
almost taking the... What?
I think Shmi retired at the end of that race as well.
Well, we must not have saw it then, sadly.
Unfortunately, he's in 10th now. 1 lap down, so I think he retired right at the end.
But Mr. Anderson, absolutely outstanding job. I'm not gonna lie, I've been talking to a lot to Mr. Anderson in these broadcasts simply because he's been putting on numerous wins in XRRL, and now he does it again in X2. Coming into the party right now is your race winner, Mr. Anderson. Anderson, go ahead and include your audio. Fantastic win as the track was getting wet in the final laps. How in the world did you do that?
I don't know. The medium tyres are in 50%. I didn't pit since... When did I last pit? I don't even know.
It was like lap 6 or something.
Yeah, like crazy. Like, no way did I think I'd win this. No, not a chance. Like, I got damage at the start with Biffy in lap 1 because I tried to overtake his car in the start. Damage for wing, pitted for softs, done like 3 laps in softs, then went on to the mediums, and that was it. I thought I would lose it on the curbs at the end.
Yeah, you had RB Llama and Find Waldo putting some massive pressure on you throughout on that restart. I won't lie, with the track gradually getting wet over his last laps as well, I don't know how in the world you did that.
Mate, the llama was pushing me right to the end. See, when like on the back straight before the last long straight, I was thinking he's gonna overtake me here. He's gonna go down the inside. But nice, he didn't try. He didn't try it. He got his points. So I'm happy with the race win. Obviously, first one in X2. Yeah, I'm buzzing with that. I'm really pleased.
I'm also going to go ahead and say this, Anderson. I've been talking to you a lot recently. You've been pulling home a lot of shocking podiums and shocking wins in almost every division you've been in. Possible move to X1 soon at this rate?
No. Like, I done X1 earlier on, and I disconnected, but I felt alright. Like, if I didn't disconnect, I disconnected in P4, so that annoyed me. But yeah, I'm pleased with this. Hopefully, and by the way, I don't think Japan sucks anymore, so I think we're pleased with that.
Good!
Nice.
Good! It looks like you finally developed that big brain.
Yes. But no, that was good. Thanks, lads.
No worries.
All right,
no worries.
congratulations, Mr. Anderson. An outstanding victory here on extremely worn medium tires on a track gradually getting wet against drivers who were significantly faster, and he held on at the end. Also, I just cannot say this enough. Everyone who finished the race at the end had no time penalty. Shmi did earn a time penalty at the very ending part of the race, and then also crashed out at the very end as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he'd still get credited with 10th place position, but still, nuts. And for your point leader, Find Waldo, 11th place, just outside of the points. That's the most frustrating thing you can imagine.
Yeah, I think he tried to overtake Llama and something happened and he just went straight ahead.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh dear.
Yeah, on the second to last lap, he had a great run coming into the hairpin, and he tried coming around the outside, but he got squeezed out and very nearly went off circuit. And then he did the exact same thing the very next time when there was even less room and the track was more wet, and he didn't even come close to saving it that time. It was basically the exact same thing that happened to the Ferrari in X3 earlier as well. Final lap just went way too hard in the hairpin trying to make a move that was never going to stick.
Yeah, it's a difficult track to overtake. Like, it's one of the hardest in my opinion. Like, because you've only got one DRS straight and the rest is really just sector 1 is just, nah. It's a mess.
It's not fun, is it?
It's
a
not,
mess,
no,
innit?
but I'm pleased that I finished. Never mind one.
Alright, well, one last question, Anderson, before we let you go. How do you think you can replicate this success at America and Mexico coming up in the next few weeks? In X2, that is. Obviously, we know you're going to replicate it in XRRL, considering you're walking off with the title already there. But in X2, how do you feel about your chances?
USA track, I think it depends how you do it in the day. It's an okay track. Like, a lot of Sector 1 is like Japan. A tiny bit, a wee section of it. But the rest of it's a very wide track for overtaking. So we'll see. And then Mexico is the same. It's Sector 2 if you don't die.
Yeah. Yeah, and the S section in Sector 1 at USA is bad for time penalties as well.
It is. It's so bad that it's crazy. You're not gonna lose it there. You might, but the chance are you're going to get penalties, never mind losing it.
Yeah, it's all about the time penalties, I think, the next race.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, I'm pleased.
Aye.
Alright. Well, once again, congratulations on victory. I look forward to
Cheers.
talking to you even more post-race, Anderson.
Well done. Catch you later, lads.
Aye, in a bit.
Alright. Well, Fiend, I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm really happy about this race, mainly because Anderson finally admitted that he doesn't think Japan sucks anymore. So it's nice to see someone finally come around to an intelligent man's point of view.
Oh dear.
Alright, well, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. This was a very interesting race. Thank you very much for going ahead and letting me jump in and share the broadcast booth with you today. Considering that, you know, next week is an off week for X1, X2, X3, and the week after that, it looks like it will be back to you leading the broadcast. But once again, I just want to say thank you very much for letting me go ahead and step in. I absolutely love this circuit. I love being able to cover races here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for jumping in. Sorry, I couldn't bear to do it on my own. So yeah, thanks for coming in and taking the lead.
Alright, well, for the folks out there who do still want to watch racing action, you can go to XRL's YouTube channel and catch the races that happen. But next week, only on Saturday, will there be a race, and that will be XRRL, and that will be at Monaco at 8 p.m. UK time on Saturday. However, all the divisions, Dev, XRRL, X1, X2, X3, they all will be returning to broadcast in 2 weeks' time. It will be 5 p.m. UK time on the main channel for Dev on Saturday, then 5 p.m. on the main channel for X1 on Sunday, 8 p.m. on the main channel for X2 on Sunday, and again, that's 2 weeks from now, and X3 on the alternate channel, 5 p.m. UK time, 2 weeks time, that'll be X3 alternate channel. But until that time, I've been SaintLear13, I've been joined by XRL Fiend. I want to say thank you very much for watching, and goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.